Okay, we're on Jubilee today. 6 grandpas versus 1 fake. Let's get straight into it. There's also stuff going on outside. Hopefully you can't hear too much. Let's get straight into it.
I'm a grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
I'm a grandpa.
And I'm not.
It's funny. I don't know who that is. Duncan Joseph. He's in the title.
I'll start. I'm Ken. I have 1 grandson. He's at that really cute age now. He's going to turn 4 next month. I'm sorry. He's going to turn 34 next month.
Hi, I'm Howard. I have 1 grandchild. He's about 2.5 years old.
Hi, my name is John. I have 2 grandchildren.
Well, my name's Alex. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a grandfather of 3.
This is Martin. I have 1 grandson. He is going to be 4.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill, and I have 3 incredible grandchildren.
I picked
Why
a
did they
grandpa
save him for
sweater on
last?
purpose. I think it helps me get into character, you know. On the drive here, I was
Saving
only
him for last is
playing
kinda sus.
Billy Joel and Leonard Skinner, just in case they asked me. I had to get into character, so the music was blasting.
I want to know,
Okay.
for all of you, do you change diapers?
No.
Not
I did, you know,
I did.
in a pinch.
Sure. This is Dan, and I've changed a lot of diapers, although I do admit that I sort of try to find a way to be busy if it's really obvious, and my wife takes over, and she seems to like it more than I do.
This is Bill. My wife, Cheryl, also has backer
Cheryl.
duty.
Cheryl, to me, just embodied, like,
It's just
the
the old-
most
it's just-
lovely
it's a
grandma
grandpa name.
possible. I did Jerry last time, so I couldn't use that.
Hi, my name is Jerry.
This is not related whatsoever. But the Denver Nuggets just fired Michael Malone right before the playoffs. Whatever, bro. Get right back to the video.
And I have 3 beautiful grandchildren.
And I'm very happy that that's the situation when
Wait.
Last
Did it-
time, so I couldn't use that.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I have 3 beautiful grandchildren.
And I'm very happy that that's the situation when Julie takes the kids up to Washington. You know, it was terrible changing diapers when my kids were
That's such
babies.
a fake
so
voice. I feel like
I
you
don't
could
think my daughter Julie trusts
point that
me
out.
with her grandchildren.
I know nothing about diapers. I've never changed one.
Yeah.
And so I just
It
blamed
was
it
like
on
the
my
type.
fake wife.
I got off really easily until he was about 2, when I thought he should have been housebroken. And then at 2, it just, I want Grandpa to change me, only for the really bad, horrendous diapers.
Oh, man.
And I told him that, well, fine, I'll change it now. But, you know, a whole bunch of years later, you're going to be changing mine.
Yeah.
So. Just remember how
crazy.
nice I was to you.
There you go.
Okay, Bill, I'm wondering, do you live up in Washington, or do they live up in Washington?
I live in Port Angeles, Washington.
Okay.
And my daughter Julie came down here for marketing, and my son Brad is a lawyer. So family, all family is down here. Just me and Cheryl up in Washington.
Julie and Brad are actually family friends that my parents are very close with.
Yeah.
Julie works in entertainment, and Brad is a lawyer. Brad is married to the law.
Have you had any thoughts about moving down to
would
Southern
not buy
California
that,
to be
bro.
closer to them?
He's instantly. He's
I'm
fake.
retired. I ran a window replacement company up in Seattle.
My dad runs a window replacement company in Seattle, so I knew some details about windows.
And even though I retired, I still am pretty hands-on. I like to support my family, and
Bro,
it keeps me
that's such an easy point
pretty
out.
close.
I feel like
being
maybe I
able
should have
to
closed my eyes at
support
the
them
beginning.
and staying hands-on.
But like, bro, this is so.
I have no
easy.
idea why I just said that. I do not know where it came from.
Oh my gosh, all those sad donuts got me feeling like it's nap time. You, hey, PA boy, get over here.
Coffee, sir.
My goodness, what happened to you?
What is
Getting
this?
your triple shot macchiato with skim milk, and
Is this a
all of a
sponsor?
sudden there was this crash. I ended up on the floor, I collapsed, and I'm in all this pain.
Okay, I've heard enough. Here's some advice, all right? Just know that if you ever find yourself getting injured, go to Morgan & Morgan, America's largest...
Oh my god, bro. I knew it was a sponsor.
None of you have
Okay.
grandchildren really close?
Oh, I do. I see them every day almost.
Do you take them to school or?
As long as I'm not working, I work part-time as an actor, and so it's tough with
An
scheduling.
actor.
I was
You can be
with
an
my
actor.
daughter when
It's
she
fine.
was in labor for about 24 hours. And then just before the baby was born, I was kicked out of the room. And I wonder if any of you were right there or pretty close when your grandchildren were born.
When my grandson was born, that was a little over 8 years ago, my daughter gave me strict instructions that I was to leave the room at that point once they knew the baby was crowned and coming. And I ended up having the left leg, her husband had the right leg, and we were helping her push. I never saw a natural childbirth with my own kids. My daughter, the doctor was a comedian, pulled her head out, left it there, said, "Okay, your alien's here." Just a little head
What?
sticking out of her belly, and
Ugh.
put his foot up on the table, grabbed her, said, "Okay." And when we had signed in advance, if we had a girl,
What?
we were tying the tubes right then and there and calling it quits.
That is not safe. Like,
Yeah, that was probably not the smartest thing for the doctor to do.
Both my
Yeah,
kids were born C-section, so I really
That would be
didn't
a real
have
story,
point
though.
of reference about whether somebody would actually stop a procedure as the head was coming out.
I know,
this could be TMI. I was born with a C-section. Let's get back to the video.
with our granddaughter being born, they lived in San Diego County. Not being there was obviously, it was a different time. But
Okay, bro, we
I
get
still
it.
remember the first time I actually got the opportunity to see her, which was
Get the sob
probably
story outta
coolest
here.
thing, and it kind of tied everything together when I was able to watch my son with her on his chest. I thought that was one of the moments that just was ingrained into my mind.
Ken, I'd like to know how often you see your grandchildren.
Well, he's almost 34 and he lives in the Bay Area now, so very rarely. We Zoom about once a week.
Okay.
The whole family does. When he was, up till the time he was 5, we saw him almost every day. And up until the time he graduated from high school, several times a week.
I think I was a Bill, correct? To my right.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that you live in Washington, correct? But your grandkids are in
Long Beach.
Long Beach. I know my granddaughter loves the beach. Do you guys ever get down to Sunset Beach?
Yeah.
When you're
yeah.
down in Long Beach.
Yeah. We
Man.
just took the kids actually a little further south to Laguna Beach.
Oh, nice. I had asked a question because knowing he said he lived in Washington and he said his kids live in Long Beach. Well, I work close to Long Beach, so I threw in a city that actually wasn't in Long Beach, it was in Seal Beach. And for someone that lives in Washington, I didn't think they would know that answer that quickly.
Yeah. Stairs were not my best friend, especially with
damn, he got
the middle of
caught.
my back.
But maybe he just
Even though I'm
knows,
not a
though.
grandpa yet, stairs were not my best friend. If there's an elevator,
He just knows,
I'm
though.
gonna go inside of it.
I can't remember your name, but I know it's to my left. He said he saw his grandson regularly till he was 5, and then occasionally till he graduated high school. Why did that stop, that gap from 5 to high school and then after high school?
They lived a block away from me until he was about 5, and then they moved a couple miles away.
Ah,
Who had the story about
Okay.
the baby's head partially out and the
That was
doctor
John.
paused? Okay.
Okay.
Says my relationship readiness score is a 4. Oh, my wife won't like that.
Okay, bro. What is this? Hold
Oh,
on.
my wife won't like that.
The grandpas will now vote for who they think is the odd one out. My God, it's so Bill.
I almost voted for Ken because I thought Ken's story was a little too smooth.
He's gonna get voted out. That's crazy.
I can't believe you just voted me out. I'm a grandpa. I'm 49. I don't know
That's
what
a
else
pretty
to say,
young
guys,
grandpa.
but you guys messed up. It's all on
Pretty
you
young
now.
grandpa.
I cannot believe that just happened.
So my
He
question
should have got out
is,
first round.
what is your grandpa name? And I'll go first. I'll answer first.
Grandpa name.
My name is Geda, and that means grandpa in Czech because I was born in Czechoslovakia, and long story, but so I am Geda. And who are you?
I'm Ken. My name was Bumpa. I have a shirt that has about 10 or 12 grandfather names that my daughter made for me. Grandpa, grandfather, grandpere, grandpater, Gampa,
Yo.
Gramps,
Okay, bro.
Hake, Granddad, Papa, Grampkins, and Zadie.
He's not quite there yet, talking my name yet, but I do want to be called Grandpa.
My grandchildren call me Grandpa Dan.
Between my son-in-law's parents and us, we got the privilege of being Nana and Papa.
New term recently, Papa Bill. Marie, the youngest granddaughter, recently
Oh my God, bro.
coined that term, and it stuck with the rest of the grandchildren. So.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm Papa Bill.
No, Papa Bill does not work.
Yeah, isn't that so cute? Just came up with it.
I'd like to know, how old were each of you when you've had your first grandchild?
I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest. I love to tell people I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest because I was 14 when my wife got pregnant with our oldest. In my defense, however, I was not the father. My wife was 5 years older than me, but I was 40 when the grandson was born.
Wow.
What? Wait. So you were 14 when you had your son, and then you ended up being 40-ish when you had a grandchild. Why did you include the 14? No one needed to know that, bro. Ken doll. No one needed to know that, man. That's not that bad. Well, his child being 26-ish by the time they had their kid, okay. Yo, he was 14, and his wife was 19? Yo, what? Yeah, bro, that's a double standard. What? Oh my God, bro.
This is Howard. I was 70 when my grandchild was born.
I was 55 when my grandson was born.
I was 60 when my first grandchild was born.
I was 62.
I was 57 when my first grandson was born.
I kind of just said a number and like hoped it was believable.
How does that affect everyone here as far as
Ken being 40?
your grandfather? Did that just
I mean, it
change
could be
and all
kinda
of a
cool,
sudden this
though.
black cow come
But,
over
like-
and go, boy, I must be old? Because I felt like that in the beginning, but then I said, hell no. I mean, I got married when I was 19, so we had kids at 23 and 26.
I don't feel old at all. I still feel like I'm 35. In fact, I've been telling everybody I turn 35 every year since year 2000, Y2K. You don't remember the year 2000. Planes were going to fall out of the sky, computers were going to burn up, and then son of a gun, October 12th, 2000, when I was supposed to turn years old, I turned 35 again. Every year I turn 35 again.
He bleeds himself.
And I don't
That's
question it
crazy.
because why would I?
You know, I'm 65, but
he could kinda
when I'm
chill,
with
though.
my grandkids, I feel 30.
I could have said 22. But
That would have
that's
been
like so specific.
Michael
Yeah.
just taught me about a game the other day, Minecraft, and don't know how the hell it works,
Yo.
but it sure is interesting.
My
Okay, bro.
grandkids were Marie, Joseph, and Michael, and that is the middle names of me and my siblings.
I was wondering, how does everybody here deal with technology?
No, I'm
Are
still on
you
Ken being 40
good at
when he had his
technology,
grandchild.
and are you on social network sites
mean,
like
14.
Instagram
Yo.
or Facebook?
Different
I was
time.
not that old when computers came out. I actually took computer classes in college, so I'm not old. Like I said earlier, we have a family Zoom once a week, and we all know how to do it.
I
feel like
have
you're the youngest
Facebook for
grandpa
my
out of all of
family
them.
and friends, and I have Instagram more for
At least I think.
professional type things. But I love technology, and I keep telling
Wait,
the
if
younger
it's-
generations, hey, you know what?
Grandson was
Our
34.
generation invented the internet, so you don't want to go back to the days before smartphone when you had to have, you know, a record collection and an address book and you know, map book and all that, you know, a Thomas guide. Who remembers the Thomas guide?
What the fuck
My
is that,
God,
bro?
you don't want to go back there.
Ebo raised his hand.
No, I do not know what the Thomas Guide is. I just thought they could hear my arm raising, so I raised it so I wouldn't raise any suspicion.
I use Facebook for friends and family, even golf groups as well.
I'm on Facebook, but I don't care for TikTok or Instagram. I do like
You should.
Zoom, and I've encouraged my son and his wife and the 3 grandkids to get on Zoom more often, but they're going so many different places, they don't seem to find the times.
Does everybody know what TikTok is?
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of weird that like that's my career. So I just had to take it like 20 steps back and say all I knew was Facebook. Actually, in the first place, I do not use Facebook. So I had to lie about that too.
I'm on Snapchat because that's my daughter communicates with that. So I get pictures of the kids, you know, if they do a somersault or if they
crazy, bro.
fall off the bed and get a bump on their head.
I was extremely surprised when John said he had Snapchat. I've never heard of that before, you know? But hey, if it helps him connect with his family, that's great.
I asked the question
I mean,
because
you know, but my grandparents, they do use Facebook. They just use Messenger. It's crazy. They're not American. They don't speak English. So, yeah, sure.
technology scares the heck out of me. If the computer's not working, I panic. If the TV's not working, I panic. I am on Facebook now because my grandson's school posts pictures every day. So that's kind of the way I get to see him grow.
Who's that for?
So we have a
It's
tie
a tie?
between John and Bill.
Oh,
I
shit.
think that I'm in a dream. Actually, I'm completely blacked out right now.
For this tiebreaker, I would like to know a little bit more about the significant woman in your life.
I mean, you can,
Well, I met my wife being introduced by my old girlfriend, who
Yo,
invited me to be their
Crazy
baseball
work.
coach. And the next thing you know, my wife was calling me constantly. We have a meeting, we have this, we got to practice. And to the point where eventually I saw that she was obviously trying to grow feelings for me. And the next thing you know, we're dating.
he doesn't like
A year
that?
later, we got
Like what?
engaged. And 6 months later, we got married. And been married for July, it'll be 45 years. She gave me 2 beautiful kids, a son and a daughter. And now I'm watching my grandchildren emulate the same thing. My grandson's the oldest, like my son. My granddaughter's just like my daughter. In fact, she's a spitting image of my daughter. It's just like watching them all over again.
In 1984, I went to a Billy
84.
Joel concert, and I met my Uptown girl.
That was improvised. I was remembering
Yo.
songs by Billy Joel just in case they asked me.
Oh, man.
And I remembered the Uptown Girl was one, so
That's,
I
I
decided
feel like that's
to
too, that
turn
could be
it
too
into something.
specific.
Her name was
Like,
Cheryl, and
Yeah, no, of
we
course.
hit it off. And since then, she
That's-
has just been
that's-
a lot of my life.
That's too basic. I'm not gonna lie. Meeting your wife at a concert back then, that's too basic, bro. At least John, it's different. That's also a little basic, a little bit, but nah, Bill, that's too basic.
You know, I didn't really have a close connection with my mother
Okay,
growing
bro.
up. And
What is?
she has shown me
Should do
what
a
it's
sob
like
story.
to be a mother that loves her children. You know, ask my kids, Brad and Julie.
This is not what the
Cheryl
question was.
is an absolute delight. You know, spending time in Port Angeles, she cooks the best Dungeness crab. I tell you, you boils it, and the kids, grandkids.
Okay, bro. No. You went too far. That is not the question. Vote him out. But they're not gonna vote him out because there's still 12 minutes left.
Love it.
I'd like to believe it's real. I'd like to believe Cheryl is
You
out
went
there
too
preparing
far.
Dungeness crab for everyone.
That
I
was
know
not
she's
the
gonna watch
question.
this and probably has her palms covering her face. You know, she gets quite nervous. But Cheryl, I love
John is
you.
not buying that
I
shit.
really don't know what else
Bro,
to say.
you
She
better
takes my
vote. You better vote
words
Bill
right
out,
of
bro.
my mouth.
I didn't have any details to rely on. I couldn't be quick on my feet, so I just thought I'd swoon them with love. And
Nah, that's-
hopefully it worked.
Well,
That would've been too
I
much.
actually have a girlfriend. We were actually co-workers. We knew each other platonically for 17 years. You know, we were both single, and one thing led to another, and now we've been together for 6.5 years. Bill is sitting next to me, and I'm just picking up. He's very nervous when he talks, and his story just felt a little too rehearsed. I was suspicious from moment one, and then when he started speaking, it sort of didn't make sense to me.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Get him out. I've been voting against Bill.
The nervousness makes me think that he's the real grandpa. I don't think if he was the mole, he would be nervous. I think the mole is going to be more polished and have his story
Oh my god, bro.
pat.
Dude
But then again,
sucks.
he's an actor.
That's true.
How do we know that?
He said that.
Did he say that? I didn't catch that.
As long as I'm not working, I work part-time as an actor, and so
Bro,
it's
spaced
tough
out.
with scheduling.
John sounds a little bit too rehearsed to me, and his
Oh
story
my God,
about
bro.
the baby is halfway out and the doctor paused right then. I've never heard that before, and it sounds a
Low
little
key, I
bit too weird
guess.
to be true.
Like him being
My
an
daughter, who
actor.
had been in labor for 24
I guess,
hours,
but like,
would have been hysterical if he'd paused for no reason.
Has anybody's vote changed?
I can be swayed.
I'm sticking with John.
oh my God,
I'll switch to John.
no way.
If you think Bill
There's
is
no
more
way they
than
just did that.
I did not jump on John's side because I was convinced that
my
Bill
God,
was
bro.
the mole.
All right. If you think John is our mole,
Martin.
please raise your hand.
Well, Lamar's cool. Everyone else sucked, bro.
How did I win that round? How
No,
did I win that? I actually have no idea.
Felt
bro.
disappointed after the tiebreakers. I really felt like
Nah, bro, they did John dirty, bro. They rigged it. It's rigged. Like, they just need the video to go on for a little bit longer. Like, oh my God, bro. They're like, no, you better pick John because, we did this video for an extra 10 minutes. Like, come on, bro.
one of the guys thought it was too rehearsed, too polished, and he told him he's an actor, and it's like, he is.
I guess, like, his actor instincts kicked in and, like, he's able to just say whatever he wants smoothly because that's what actors do. Bro, oh my God, get out of there.
Like, one of the guys thought it was too rehearsed, too polished, and he told him he's an actor, and it's like, he is. So he didn't hear that from my initial bio. I wanted to talk about the fact of having my grandkids in a Lifetime film, that I had brought them in as background and picked them up from school. I really am an actor.
Now, how is everybody feeling about their bodies? Any injuries? Chronic pain? I'll go first. 2021, I had a spinal fusion. I have never had a spine surgery.
That is not.
I have 2 rods in the back, and it painful as hell. Recovery, also hell. But now more mobility. And another thing is my hands. A lot of that window work. Now the grip and holding things isn't as easy, but I like to think I still got it.
All that window work,
I hate that
What
it makes
was the
sense.
accident? What happened for you to get the spinal fusion?
There wasn't really an accident. 35 years installing windows. Some
Just
of those
age?
windows were 10, 15 feet, and we didn't have a whole lot of crew. The gear we had didn't have a lot of back support, so it really took a toll after a while. And then I got into a little bumper incident, and that was the nail in the coffin. So.
I thought it was just random enough where why would this guy lie about windows?
My son's a
I
personal
guess.
trainer, and he just harangued my wife and I for years to start exercising on a regular basis, so we did. So I'm 74 now, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
I feel great. The only time anything really hurts is when I get down on my knees. Getting up is a struggle these days, but other than that, I feel really well.
And I have the same struggle, but I'm still pretty active. I hike.
Respect.
I
Hey.
ride my.
I know you don't care about me, but like grandpas might as well relate. My grandpa, pretty active. I mean, years ago or a few years ago, he would always like do yard work and stuff. He still just moves around, goes out, drives a lot. He's like 70.
my bike, and I also ski. But yeah, that getting up, from the floor is
it's hard.
Oh my gosh.
I can get down easy.
That's the
getting
true test
getting
of
up's
you.
not so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy work.
I can imagine. I don't know.
I'm pretty happy that John got eliminated. I think
Yo.
I think you're all being relatively honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this group.
Well, I'm wondering about Bill because you said with your spinal fusion that it really wasn't an accident, but then you said that it was that you had a fender bender.
Martin, you're obsessed with the fender bender. What's going on? Why
Now,
me?
Martin got it, but, like-
what's so interesting?
Yeah, well, that wasn't
I
really
get him out of here, bro.
an accident that incited it, 35 years of work, like I said. And
Yo.
after that incident, it took a long time to recover.
And you're right, I could have been more clear and said that there was a moment, but that wasn't what caused the surgery. I wanted to be, I don't know, I want to be honest, and those 35 years, they add up.
And your 35 years of work was installing windows and climbing and things like that?
Yeah, a lot of heavy lifting. If you want to lie professionally, you better own it. And if you make a mistake, stand on it.
True.
And do not go back on your own word.
I have a question for everybody.
Sure.
How many children do you have, and do you expect to have any more grandchildren?
I've got 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and 2 of my children are in their 30s and not married, and my wife desperately wants our daughter to get married.
Okay.
And have a grandchild.
And have a grandchild.
Come on.
That's one step at a time kind of
Do
thing.
they not know what to do?
Not really.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah.
Brad and Julie are my 2 kids, and
Brad.
Julie has 3
Michael.
grandchildren. Brad is married to the law, so yeah, it's no kids, no more kids in this family.
Did you say married to the mob or married to the law?
The law, lawyer.
The mob. He might have been a mobster back then.
To the mob.
Okay.
My share.
I have a question. Is there a worst part of being a grandparent?
The best and worst part are the same thing depending on the day. It's sending the kid back home.
Right.
Hardest part, I live in Washington. You know, we talked earlier about how, you know, I'm not with my grandkids. Cheryl's health issues, and California in general. I've convinced my kids as much as possible to bring them up here. You know, I think Washington is a wonderful place to raise children. Just not getting to see them. Last time I dropped them off at the airport when they came for Christmas, and it's hard watching them walk off and with their little suitcases. It's tough. I don't know, I thought it would be like tender, because you know how kids have those like little like Dora
That
the
does not
Explorer
impact
backpacks,
grandpas,
so,
bro.
I don't know, maybe
The heart does not do
they relate
anything.
to that. Just like small
Come on,
details, and be
bro.
like, only a grandpa would
I
know
mean,
that.
I guess
For
they
me,
could
the
relate.
worst part
but, like,
is not being in the same city and seeing him, you know, maybe like 3,
That's
4
the
times
relation.
a year. And when I see pictures that change each time, and
Like, I live with my grandparents, or they live with us, whatever. My dad owns the house, so it's fine.
I don't get to see that happening, you know, in person.
Now, before I have everybody vote, I'm going to go around and ask everybody. It doesn't have to be your final answer, but who you're thinking about voting for right now.
I still feel suspicious about Bill. You know, going back to what I said before, I think he sounded nervous. I just don't think the story is real plausible.
Martin, right?
Yes.
Well,
What were you?
I think we're all grandpas here, but you know, it's tit for tat for me.
Tit for
so
tat.
I'm have to say
Okay.
Martin. I really can't think of a good excuse other than, you know, you're the one to throw the bait to think that I'm not one. But
No special reason, but I think I'm going to vote for Bill.
This will be our final vote.
Yeah, Bill, get out of
I
here.
believe Bill is the mole. Please raise your hand.
Yo, I was about to say, bro. Like, what? Yo, I did not.
I am a woman.
I'm a woman.
I am a woman.
I am a woman.
I am a woman.
I'm a woman. I am
Okay.
a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I am a woman.
And I'm a man. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Nat. You might have known me from the 6 Girls vs. 1 Secret Boy episode.
My name is Natalie, but you can call me Nat.
And this time
Yo,
I'm going to take what I
you
learned
gotta
from
watch
that
this.
episode and
Hold
apply
on.
it in today's episode, which is going to be a lot harder.
I gotta watch this, bro. I gotta watch this. Hold on. Next week, 8.
We are back, and
Gotta
the
watch
grandpas won. Congratulations.
Yay.
Now, on the
Yo.
count of 3, I'm going to have
Aw,
you
man.
remove your blindfolds, and you will see probably pretty quickly.
I know John's gonna be
who the
heated, bro.
mole Was 3, 2, 1.
John's gonna be heated.
Yep.
good afternoon.
I knew it.
He's so mad.
I was right. I was right all along. I think I have pretty good instincts about people.
I'm Duncan, by the way. So
Nice to meet you.
yeah.
Nice
to meet you,
Hi,
Duncan.
Nice to meet you all. You guys are great.
You had a
So-
good story.
You're not a grandfather.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought that if they
Yeah.
thought I was a loving, kind grandpa that was just obsessed with their grandchildren,
Yo,
that it would be as real as
That's
possible.
usually the other way
So
around.
they
It's the
did not
grandmas
have
that
a
do that,
blindfold
baby.
on
Well,
during this whole
also,
thing.
too, you used the Port Townsend in,
He did say his
because you
name.
were with the
Right,
grandmas.
I picked on that
Yes.
right away.
Yes.
Oh, you knew about
Yes.
that? Oh my
I
gosh.
watched that episode.
Seattle, all
Yeah.
3 of them?
All 3 of
What?
them in Seattle. Yeah, both my kids
kids and grandchildren, so it's just me and my husband down here.
Last year, I did a grandma's episode, and I pretended to be a grandma.
Okay, I watched.
Yeah.
They saw that?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, that voice again.
I should have known that.
Hi there, my name is Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm from Georgia.
There you go.
Both my grandparents,
Yeah.
we just called them Grandpa and Grandma, but they were both named Jerry. Geraldine married Jerry, so.
I watched it yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Wow, well,
work.
Jerry's back.
You would use that voice today. Though.
No,
Crazy work.
that wouldn't have worked.
Hey, okay.
I don't think so.
Pretty decent. That's it. I don't care about the rest. You know, link to the original video will be in the description. That 20 women versus 1 man or fake woman is going to be fine. That might already be out. Hold on, bro. I don't like this video. This might already be out. Unless that was a different video. Oh no, it's that. I'm not watching that, bro. But yeah. I mean, I could go back and watch What Makes a Real Man. You know, like, that could be kind of funny. But whatever. That was 6 grandpas versus 1 fake. You know, shout out to Jubilee. I'm gonna watch that one video in the future. But who knows? Next could be What Makes a Man. But anyway, like the video, subscribe. Stay tuned for more.